Hello there, and welcome to Embracing Wisdom with Stacie. That's me. And today we are going to talk about what do we do when we absolutely need to change some things in our life? How do we go about it? How do we get brave? How do we say yes to us, especially if you are in the field of caregiving or you give to your family? Whatever it is, we have to learn that we cannot give without giving to ourselves first. So let's dive in. Let's first talk about where I've been, why I've been gone. Now, I haven't podcasted in a couple months, and I haven't been doing much on my YouTube channel. And that's a reason for that. I've attempted to do it many times, and I don't know if I was just getting into this mode of perfectionism, which I typically don't. I don't overly edit my videos. I just don't. I don't believe that showing a very curated and edited version of me is authentic. And so I've never been super edity, but I just felt I would sit down to record something and the words would not come. And so I just gave it a break. And I think sometimes in any creative endeavor that we have, sometimes we just need to step back for a little bit. I know that because I'm very active on my social media and I post a lot, I get burned out on that too. And so I have to have sort of a framework of what it is, why I'm doing this. Sometimes it's very fun and it's a creative outlet for me. And other times it's something that feels like a drain. So we all can relate to that. There might be our job, our relationship, caring for somebody, caring for our home, whatever it is, we can burn out. So I burned out big. I burned out not just on podcasting and YouTubing, I burned out on life. I burned out on healing. I burned out on pain. I just had to take a step back. And I think it began probably 8, 9 months ago. I started to just experience what people might refer to as burnout. I've never experienced burnout. I mean, I've certainly been in jobs that I didn't love and could see that maybe this is the path I didn't want to be on, but I never have truly felt complete and utter burnout. And I don't know that it's related to the work that I do because I love the work that I do. I think I experienced burnout from doctors and surgeries and recovery and pain management and physical therapy and adapting my life. I just got so filled up over the last year of all things related to my hip that I was sick of talking about it. Now, I've always balanced, I think, very well. And maybe this can ring true to you as a listener in your own life or in your own experience. I have always been very intentional about showing up completely authentic and transparent too, and yet also very private. So I really balance a fine line between oversharing private things about my daily life and also using my daily experience with particularly hip replacement failure as a teachable moment to how do we still show up when life turns out less than ideal. We know everybody knows people that have had a hip replacement that are doing phenomenal, and I'm really happy for them. That was not my experience. And so I had to really dive into the last year, 2025, following 3 surgeries in 2024. I had to really cultivate what brings me joy every day. So 2025 was all in about joy. And it felt really good. And the train started to come off the track in the fall when I took on more work than I really was ready for, or wanted to do, or needed to do, or was aligning with my life. And I did it anyway. And at that part of my life, I started to experience anxiety and dread over things that I normally don't. And so as I look back at that time period, in my life, that's when the burnout began. As I was so focused on creating joy to counter the pain that I experience every day because of my hip. So I made it a point, and I've done lots of videos on this mindset of choosing joy every day despite when life isn't going well. And that joy looks like, for me personally, baking bread, being in the garden, going for walks. I got a puppy, living, just absolutely living. And so that was all going really well until fall when my living started to stop being so joyful and my work took over. And I started to sink into this very imbalanced life where I was working and giving and working and giving and working and giving and not experiencing that daily joy. And so I burned out quick, probably quicker than I might have had I not had those 9 months to really cultivate joy. So I attribute the hip saga, the hip replacement nightmare, as really a great teacher for me to to bring joy into my daily doings, not weekends, not vacations, but every single day finding joy. And then I got another job, and that opportunity for joy was no longer part of my daily life. And I didn't recognize it until springtime this year, 2026. I started to really dread going into this place that I was working, although the place itself is amazing, the people are amazing, the job was amazing. I just started to feel an inner dread. And I think that was because I was not having balance in my life. And I'm not at a place where I'm going to give up my adaptive yoga business that I love, love, love doing. I'm just not, that's non-negotiable. So I had to look at my life in other areas of what do I need to let go of. And so in this job that I had, my supervisor was sharing with me the infinity sign. We've all seen it. It's, the number 8 that's on its horizontal on its side. And she said that on one side of the infinity sign is where we have stress and overwhelm. I'm going to add pain. Stress and overwhelm to the pain. Jobs, relationships, pain, doctors, recovery, anesthesia, medication interactions, all of that became in that side of my infinity sign. And then on the other side of the infinity sign is things that bring you joy or how you cope. I've always prided myself on having great coping strategies. I think I have the longest list ever of things that I use to cope with daily living. But what I found in this meeting where we were actually talking about clients come into this place of business with a lot of stress and overwhelm and very little coping strategies. And my job at that time was to help people develop coping strategies. But I really listened to this on a personal level. And I realized that for many years, my infinity sign has been very balanced. Yes, I have stress, overwhelm, and pain, but I've been able to balance it with a lot of things that bring me joy, a lot of coping strategies. One of them being creative, like doing podcasts, doing YouTube. And I realized as I reflected on this teachable moment, this teaching tool that my supervisor brought to me, that my infinity sign was way different since taking this position. My infinity sign had a large bubble of stress, overwhelm, and pain. Stress and overwhelm from being pulled in too many directions. Stress and overwhelm from having to learn a whole new system of documentation and billing and things. The job just required a lot of my time, a lot of my time. Stress and overwhelm. And then I'm dealing with significant pain in my hip that cannot be fixed at all. And come to the realization through my surgeon, who's amazing. So don't write to me and tell me I should sue my surgeon, that my surgeon had a very honest conversation with me that my hip is what it is. It's just not going to improve. And there's nothing surgically that can fix it. So that lends itself to sort of a fork in the road for me. I can't stay on pain meds forever, but nothing's going to fix my hip. I'll be limited. So what do I do with that? I have to get off pain meds, but there's no remedy. So the pain that I have on pain meds is going to likely increase. My limitations will likely stay the same or worsen as I age. That's a lot of stress and overwhelm coming at me at once. Other things going on, just creating stress and overwhelm in my infinity sign. And then my coping strategies were there, but I wasn't able to access them because the stress and overwhelm and pain was just too big. And I didn't logistically have the time to do the things that bring me joy because my stress and overwhelm was pulling me into this new role and responsibility. And so I left that meeting with a huge aha. And I realized my decision making needed to change a little bit. And so whenever I'm faced with a hard decision or something that's new and different, I ask myself three very important questions. And the questions are this: do I want it? Do I want it? This could be a relationship, it could be a job, it could be a move, it could be a car, it could be anything in your life. Do I want this? Okay, the second question to ask oneself is, do I need this? Do I need this? Do I need the relationship? Do I need the job? Do I need the income? Do I need the financial security? Do I need the health benefits? Do I need the location? Do I need a safe place to move to? Do I need it? Do I want it? Do I need it? And then the last question to ask yourself is, does this align with me and the vision that I have for my life? I would add, does this align with me and the vision that I have for my life? So I ruminated for a few days and I asked myself those three questions related to this position at this job. Do I want it? I thought I did, but it turns out I really didn't want it. I didn't want it for what it had evolved to. I came into it with a different intention. That intention just didn't work out for reasons that are just life reasons. It just didn't work out. There were too many barriers for the people that I wanted to bring into services that we can't change a system. So, do I want it as it was in March? And the answer was no, I do not want that. That's not what I wanted. Do I need it? No. Financially, I do not need it. Fulfillment? No, I do not need it. I get plenty of fulfillment in my adaptive yoga business, in my creative process, in my life. So, no, I don't need it for fulfillment because that's a big one for me. Fulfillment is, I would say, more important to me than finances. If I don't feel fulfilled in my work, then it's not for me. So very hard black and white thinking around that. And I'm very lucky that I have the opportunity to do that because I have so many income sources. And I get that not everybody has so many income sources and that you do need the financial part of certain jobs that you may not love. I get that. So don't write me about that either. I hustle. I have 5 jobs, so I didn't need 6. Okay, so did I want it? No. Did I need it? No. Does it align with me? This is where I got stuck. Yes, it does align with me. It is service-based. It is reaching people that are often unreachable. It is showing up for people. It is caregiving. It is being present for people. It is holding space for people. It is guiding people. It is teaching people. It is providing outlets for people. It is everything that I am. Yes, it aligns. Okay, so what do I do with that? 2 out of 3 are no, but the big one, alignment, is yes. So I sat with it. I sat with it. I sat with it. I walked with it. I slept with it. I journaled with it. I do doodling puzzles. I puzzled with it. And I finally just kept seeing the infinity sign. And so I even drew an infinity sign in my book. And I listed all of the stress, overwhelm, and pain in my life, all of my coping strategies. And I just closed my eyes for a minute. And I thought about what would my life be like if I released this job? If I said, this job does not serve me. I need to care for me right now. I need to take care of me. I need to address the changes that are happening in my body related to an adult life, being on medications. I need to manage my pain holistically, differently. I need to embody a new way of being. I need to carve out time for Epsom salt baths. And I need to make sure that I'm in the water enough so that my tissue gets support from having buoyancy. I need. So I wrote it all down in my infinity sign. And I realized that if I were to release this requirement, responsibility, distraction, job, I could wipe away a large part of my stress and overwhelm, which would immediately bring balance to my infinity sign. And so that's where alignment, the answer was no, it doesn't align for me, for my life, for how I want to show up in the world and the work that I want to do. Yes, it absolutely aligns. But if I can't care for me because I am over there, then no, it doesn't align. And after taking almost a year of being radical with what brings me joy, I was no longer willing to sacrifice it. And so, no, it did no longer align with me. And so, in this process of fall to spring, really looking at my life and kind of reevaluating and then making that decision, I had to step away from podcasting and YouTubing and a lot of my creative stuff, still blogging and social media and all of that, which I enjoy 99% of the time. But that's why I've been gone. And so I would ask of you in any endeavor that you have in your life right now, first of all, look at your own infinity sign. Draw it on a piece of paper. One side is your stress, overwhelm, trauma, pain. List it. And the other side is your coping strategies, things that bring you joy. Cooking, baking, music, walking, exercise, people, concerts, art, flowers, gardening, whatever it is. List it in your other circle. And then sit with it and really look at, is your infinity sign balanced? Ideally, we would love the happiness side to be way bigger than the stress and overwhelm, but we're humans. Okay, so it should be equal, it should be balanced. And then if it's not balanced, if your stress and overwhelm, trauma, and pain is way bigger, then ask yourself those three questions. Do I want this? Do I need this? And does it align with me and the life I want to create or the life that I want? And then sit with it. You already know the answer. I already knew the answer. I knew the answer in the fall, but I'm not a quitter. I don't give up on things. I see things through. I don't break contracts. That's not who I am, but it's who I'm becoming because I matter, because my life matters, because my joy matters, my happiness matters. So I am becoming a person who says yes to me versus always yes to other people. And so, no, I'm not a quitter. I'm not a giver upper. Yes, I broke a contract. I don't care because I matter. My life matters and my happiness matters. My joy matters. So that's where I've been. Those are three very great questions to ask yourself. The infinity sign is a game changer for me, a game changer. And when I met with my supervisor for my final exit interview, she said, damn, I shouldn't have taught that concept because maybe you'd still be here. And we sort of laughed about it. And I don't know. I don't know if I would have come to it in a different understanding and made that decision at a different time, but the decision is made. I'm finished. I'm complete. I learned a tremendous amount about myself, about the human experience of people. I learned, I served, I gived, I gave, whatever that is. I had moments of great joy in the job, but it was complete and it taught me a lot about myself and other people. So that's the lesson that I learned. So ask yourself those three questions, draw an infinity sign, and let me know what you think. Let me know if it resonates. And I'll be back. I'm going to be more consistent again, getting back in the swing of things because I have more space and I get to do the things I enjoy because I'm not being pulled over there. So that's what I have for you. And a minor update on the hip. Didn't give you all the dirty details, but it doesn't matter. I'm carrying on. So pop over to my YouTube channel, Adaptive Yoga, if you want to see some chair yoga or just some gentle yoga, it's there. Mindfulness practices are there, meditation, all the things. Follow me on my blog, share this with other people, repeat it, whatever you need. but know that I'm not going anywhere and I'll be back for more. So sit with it. It's the most beautiful gift you can give yourself is to simply sit with it. All right, take care. I will see you soon. I have more to say, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.